Now, if you've been following me for any length of time, you will know that I've been highly critical of the state of Belfast city centre. Those in authority have allowed the north of the city to fall into complete dereliction, having been conned like a bunch of thick patties into the ludicrously named Tribeca scheme, which of course never happened. Not a brick has been put on top of another brick. But the idiots in City Hall, this is great, this is brilliant, it's going to be amazing. Nothing. You understand? Apart from buildings falling into decrepitude. And the place, it looks worse now than it did during the Troubles. This is where it is. But the incompetence of our masters doesn't end there. For while their sins of omission allowed the city centre to look like a suburb of Los Angeles, they have also, through sins of commission, given a green light for greedy developers to erect structures of absolutely no aesthetic finesse nor refinement. It can only be described as brutalist architecture. Monstrosities of red brick have sprouted up around the new University of Ulster campus. Well, they look more like American jails than student accommodation. I think one of them is called a coop. I swear to Christ, one of them's called a coop, not a chicken coop. Now, let me tell you, that's very unfair. Because I grew up on a farm, and I used to go and get the eggs out of the chicken coop. And my granny's chicken coop looked a lot better than they have down there. But here, at least we had the Titanic Museum to offset these ugly facades. Opened in 2012, the museum is situated beside the Harlan and Wolff drawing offices, which has now been transformed into a new hotel, and where the Titanic was designed, built and launched. Now, for all the world, it looks like a star fallen from the heavens, with an exterior constructed from 3,000 individual silver anodized aluminium shards. And the glitter in the sunlight, even our shite sunlight. Beautiful thing to behold. Whether seen from a car travelling on the M3 dual carriageway, from a cruise ship sailing into Belfast Lough, or a plane landing at George Best Airport, the museum was both beautiful and a building our city could be proud of. But no more. For work has now begun on the construction of yet another luxury apartment block called Loft Lines. Do these people think they live in New York? Is that what they're trying to do? What delusional bullshit this is? Loft Lines. Anyway, this in a city where thousands of such apartments lie unoccupied. Now, on top of entombing the Titanic Museum, the new towers will block views of the historic Harland and Wolff cranes. Not that any of this mattered to Grania Long, the chief of the Northern Ireland Housing Executive. She said, we need to be building communities in the city centre, and those communities will improve everyone's lives. Now, obviously, the community she's referring to are property developers, as the majority of the 778 apartments will be privately owned and rented to tenants. Concerns about social housing in Belfast city centre have yet again been ignored. Preference given in another rush for private profit with investments in empty apartments. Thankfully, there was one voice of dissent. That was Belfast's Deputy Lord Mayor, Anya Grogan, who argued that not only would this development be a scar on Belfast's skyline, but she highlighted real concerns about the placement of the building so close to Belfast Lough and the dangers that posed of flooding, with the even the Rivers Agency warning that the new development didn't meet required standards. Now, others have pointed out the lack of adequate car parking provision, with the developers countering that their site prioritised pedestrians and cyclists over cars. Aye, right. Aye, dead on, right. Aye. Do we look like we came up a legging in a bubble or what? Ulster Architectural Heritage have concerns about the lack of water treatment and sewage infrastructure, though I am sure the developers will argue that their tenants don't shite. Or maybe they know that most of the apartments will never be occupied. They're simply a way to get some profit and investment in property. Now, this is the latest example of greed trumping need in the provision of housing in Belfast. And why is it, people, that us plebs have to jump through a myriad of hoops to get permission for even a modest extension to our homes, but property developers appear to have the golden ticket? They have no such problems, even when building tower blocks surrounded by such criticism and problems. I'm certain the Belfast councillors who voted through this latest monstrosity will have an answer. And I, for one, would be very interested in hearing it. Until then, I want you to have a view of the state of North Belfast that these same councillors voted through with the Tribeca scheme. Isn't that beautiful? What about that? What about that there? Isn't that lovely? Isn't that amazing? Can you see the regeneration in these pictures? Can you see the revitalisation of Belfast City? This is all down to the same councillors who have now voted through this bullshit operation. Don't start me.
You'll do nothing. You hear me? You'll do nothing.